Yes. So I think before we get started, I think Pandiji said, so why do people listen to you again? And to also to look at who you were and who you are now. Is it the same? Uh, and what has changed in between those timelines? So we are on our episode 2, and we want to know about a lot more about Pantaji's space in terms of so many of those changes that is brought on. We talked about quite a lot of things in last episode. It was leadership, it was IMA, it was possibly his overall experiences with life. And there was one chunk which I think wanted a little more of the spotlight into his work with working with widows of army jawans and enabling them and their children a longer format into enabling them to be uh, full-fledged citizens with great education and whatever is the requirement. There's the one story, the last, which really moved me as to how one of those families wanted you to be in that spot, receiving the husband side, and you were given that spot, and that really had tears for me and for everybody who listening in. We want to tap onto that side of the experience of life experience of yours, how it all began, what it is all about. So what to you, sir? However you would like to start. This is something that I've given you a very big leeway. It could start from however you want to start it. You can go ahead and share.
Thank you very much, Sunil and Shrish. Episode 1 actually became an eye opener for me when I saw it all over again. Uh, at times, I get surprised when I was listening to a number of things, knowing them to be true, but hearing it out from the mic of the laptop or mobile, it actually moved me in a certain way to realize that yes, probably the type of life I have spent is definitely different from what run of the mill people like me would be spending. Coming straight away to the point which Sunil made just now, I took premature retirement in 2006. Reasons are all with army headquarters, so I'll not be discussing that in the public domain. But then I had to leave my career when I was absolutely at the peak. One could not have been higher as far as the qualifications or career was concerned. But then, fine, there had to be something else also. And I had to leave. And after 25 years, when I left, I had absolutely no backing from my home. I knew fully well that I am from artillery and I have zero value so far as corporate is concerned, industry is concerned. There are no jobs for us. There was nothing. There was only one thing in my mind, that was that will, that determination, that I knew that I will do well wherever I go. And with nothing in hand, I left. My family that time was in Hyderabad, so I went back there. I had decided not to do anything for 1 year. What kept on coming back to me after retirement were the faces of the men with whom I had served throughout my life. And it was not a social media period. Social media had just started then. I had just heard of Facebook, that there is something called Facebook. So it was just the start of that. But then I had a map with me, a big map of Punjab and Himachal, which before retirement I would write down the names of villages and tehsils and the name of the person who was there with his postal address. So I had almost about 80 to 90 addresses in those big maps which you get in the stationery shops. Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, my troops mainly belong to that place. And I would carry that map with me, but from Hyderabad, I could never even go and connect with them. Telephones, mobile, you know the state. The things hadn't taken off then. So there was no way. You write a letter and the letter would reach after some time. And as luck would have it, I decided not to do anything for 1 year. wanted to spend that 1 year to unburden myself from that ego which a military officer carries when he comes into the retirement. The baggage is too heavy uh, of that ego, and other than ego, there is nothing else much that we have to carry when we come to civil. And probably that is one main reason that we are not very, very popular at workplaces or wherever we are. So generally, people will restrict themselves to the clubs, they will restrict themselves to the golf courses and go there. But when you come to industry, there'll hardly be any people. The things are very different nowadays. When I find huge number of people, young guys who are in industry, corporate, everywhere, our time the things were very, very different. So I knew, I had realized one thing, that if I have this baggage of army officer and that ego, so I had to crush that and finish that. Towards which I decided not to do anything for 1 year. Take all small jobs that come my way, whatever, let get treated the way people want to treat me, and not retaliate, not get angry. Go to government offices for all this work and all. So whether the chaprasi makes you stand in the corner or makes you sit on the bench or tells you to get out from there. So I would never get angry, and I would come back. It took me almost 1 year to realize that yes, I had become at par with a civilian, where I would be treated exactly like a civilian whenever I went to all these places. So I realized that I was successful in removing that baggage, which I carried from the forces, of that ego, of that rank, of that a false pride. I was a colonel in army, so I never used my rank. It's been 20 years. I generally don't use my rank at all. I want to be respected for the person I am, and not the person who is hiding behind a rank. So a person tends to first respect that rank, and thereafter he comes to the individual. So I removed all those things from my personality. So there was nothing called rank. So I would be what I am. And there were two things. One was the professional life, because I had children, so I did require bread in my house. They were in the school, college, so I required money. So there was one part of my professional side which I will not touch in this episode at all. Reason is because that's work, and when we talk about the leadership part, which we discussed today, I will definitely make a mention of my the work life post retirement. That will shock you even more than whatever shocks you have got understanding me so far. You will get bigger shocks there when you see the work life that I have followed thereafter for all these years. Coming straight away to the point which Sunil had said. So I moved to Delhi in 2008, and I suddenly realized that I'm much closer to Punjab and Himachal, where 90% of my troops resided. And I always wanted to be in touch, but there was no way to be in touch with them.
Mhm.
Nothing permitted, no mobiles, no, there was no way. One didn't even know where people are. And today the state is that you meet someone at the railway platform and you make friends. And probably for next 30 years you will always know where he is. So I was from that era where you don't know anyone. And the story of there's a story in this book, Neeli Chhatri Wala Dekhega. That is about that guy who died of heart attack in 2003, and the family did not get pension for almost about 5 6 years. So that family is the one I was always in touch with. And suddenly around 2006, after I retired, somehow there was a complete disconnect with that family, and I did not even know where to write them a letter. I knew this girl was in so and so class, and then somehow there was a day we got a chance to go to Himachal and Punjab. So whoever we remembered, so I just went to randomly, knocked houses and started searching people. And I came across one guy, second guy, and from there I came to know so and so lives in this village, that village. It was all postal addresses only that we are talking of. So we are still not in that mobile stage. or WhatsApp world. So we are still talking about pre-WhatsApp and pre-mobile days. So came to know about few more people. Then there were certain favorites I had during my service career. There was a time me and my wife went to Himachal, hunting down those places where these guys I knew belonged. So Tehsil is such a big place. I realized only when I went to Himachal. Oh, then I said, no, I know the Tehsil, but I don't know the village. So then we came to know about one more village. So very slowly this started building up. And by about 2014-15, we started making regular trips. And that is the time I decided, I said, no, this world of veterans, particularly men, is so spread out, so disjointed. No one knows anything about anyone. Not that I can do anything for anyone, but at least putting them, bringing them together makes tremendous amount of difference. Sadly, Indian Army has got no such system post retirement. Post retirement, everyone is on their own. So everyone will land up in their own soldier board in their district, where there will be a CSD, where there will be a polyclinic, where they'll go for medical, and there'll be some notice boards in soldier board. And if you happen to meet someone over there, fine. Otherwise, nothing. So no one knows anyone. So then I started going around with my wife, and very slowly we started increasing the network. And by that time the mobiles had come, and by that time WhatsApp had also hit the society in a nice proper way, fully developed. So in 2016 I decided, I said, no, I have no choice but now to round up everyone and get everyone together. And there is a famous saying in army कि आर्मी की दोस्ती आरपी गेट तक. आरपी गेट is that entry gate of the regiment, which is RP stands for regimental police. So regimental police card. So army की दोस्ती RP gate तक. So soon as you cross RP gate, so you are in civil area. So there is no friendship thereafter. And this is all three armed services, army, navy, air force. Exactly the same thing is said, and exactly that was the state. No unit you will ever come to know that a unit has got all its personnel together. Retired. I'm talking about the retired ones. So in 2016, so I created the first WhatsApp group where I said all officers, JCOs, men retired, they all will be part of this. And yeah, I don't mind this even coming on in public domain. We do not have very strong officer men relation. Even during service, it is all official. Social, there is zero contact. I think this I have said in the previous episode also. There's absolutely no social interaction between officers and on one side and JCOs men on other. So it is absolutely blasphemy to even think that on a WhatsApp group there will be a group on which there are officers also, and there are men also, there are women also, there are widows also. So I practically convinced every officer of my unit to be there, and then got the men over there, and everyone is WhatsApp is that forward wala world. Udhar aaya, either forward, forward. So I disciplined the whole lot so that no crap ever came on WhatsApp. No good mornings, no nothings. This that. Only regimental issues, only things which benefit each other. So I made that group very strong. And then I started asking, where is so and so, where is so and so? And that's where I started coming to know about the widows. I started digging out the widows. I almost knew about 8 people who had died when I was in the unit. And I knew that their widows are there somewhere. So I started digging them out from 2015 onwards. So I found one in Chintpurni, then I found another one in Kangra, then I found another one somewhere else. And then me and my wife, we started visiting them. So it was again an absolute shock. It's something out of the world that a officer, a retired, and that too a commanding officer. So I was not more than an officer, I was being referred to as the commanding officer, CO sir. ये रिटायर होने के बाद मिलने के लिए आए. So then I got involved with their children to find out what exactly they are doing. And they were all teenagers, either they were in the senior school or college, and six, seven widows. And the trigger was a particular girl whose father had died due to electrocution in army. So when I was speaking to her, so she said, I said कि अभी क्या करने वाले हो अभी? Now that you have done the graduation. So she says कि नहीं मैं तो आगे पढ़ना चाहती हूँ, पर मम्मी बोलती है कि इसकी कि तुम शादी कर लो. तो I said फिर आप पढ़ते क्यों नहीं आगे जाके? बोलती है अंकल पैसे नहीं है तो पढ़ूँ कहाँ से? तो I said पैसे क्यों नहीं है? फीस. I said pension. बोलती है अंकल पेंशन बहुत कम आती है. I said I'm coming to your home. We'll talk there. So me and my wife, we drove down from Delhi. We went to Chintpurni. Chintpurni is in Kangra district, Una district. So we drove down from here to their home. We went there, saw their condition. I asked her to take out all her papers and her passbook. And when I saw the pension and when I saw the fees and when I saw everything, I was shaken to the core. I said, there is no way this girl can do her post graduation even if she wants. I said, nothing. So far as army is concerned, it reimburses tuition fees. Now, tuition fees is hardly anything, right? It's the smallest part, I will say, of the fees. The actual expenditure on education comes on how do they reach college and come back? How do they buy the books? Is there any communication? Right? So, which college they want to go? Do they want to pursue a private degree which is not covered by army for tuition fees? So, what if they want to do something which is other than that? If they want to go to MBA to a private college, what do they do? And then I started finding out more and more details about all the children. As far as this girl was concerned, me and my wife were there. We just asked her to pursue. We convinced her mother, "Iska shadi wadi chodo. First, give her admission wherever she wants. We'll bear the expenditure." And thereafter, we made her do that. And she did her 2 years of post graduation. I think she wanted to do in Hindi. I think MA Hindi or something like this. I don't really remember. But then we paid for. And then we found out the other widow. She had three daughters. So one married, one was doing MBA, and another was doing something else. Second year, and another was wanting to go. So they were paying in excess of 1 lakh. And then I found out another widow. Likewise, maybe in a very short span of time, I dug out all the widows that I wanted to, which I knew in my unit that these people were there and they are no more. Some of them were retired. Some of them were what do you call? Some of them lost their life while they were serving. Some of them had lost their life after they had retired. So either way, the ladies were on family pension. And this is how I started digging out details. And then I found out that the problem is not small. The problem is bigger, much bigger than what it seems. No one talks about it. There is zero interaction between officers, whether they are serving or retired, and men, whether they are if they are retired, and absolutely none if it's a widow. So it's everyone is on their own. ठीक है, government pension दे रहा है, so done deal है, deal with it. So where the hell our leadership goes when we were in service, and we would talk about leadership and we would talk about men, and okay, that this is what actually matters. Hum, you and me are comrades. We will shoulder to shoulder. We will fight and we will die together. We will lay our lives together. वगैरह वगैरह. What exactly happened to that? RP gate cross हो गया सब. मतलब everything is now tradable. I could never in my life come to accept this, that our leadership is temporary. It is temporary and limited to the period till when I'm serving in army and I'm wearing a uniform. Within that, only till the time I'm in a unit when men are under me. So this means it is an absolutely self-centered approach to leadership, that I require your help when I need you the most because we need to win a war. So I leave the unit, he leaves the unit, and so we are strangers thereafter for life. And that's how the things are. No, that was not my leadership, at least. My leadership was that I am bonded to you for life. And in thick and thin, hell, high water, I will be with you. This is what I promised them when I was in uniform. What stops me continuing with that thereafter? Just because I am an officer, so I am from a different breed. Just because you are men, so I'll not even interact with you. And God forbid you die if your widow is there. How the hell do why the hell do I care about it? This exactly is the attitude even today across the board. I have been extremely vocal about it. I haven't found even one person till date serving retired who has been able to counter me or who has given me a shut up call on social media. In fact, people avoid arguing with me completely because the first thing I'll ask them is only, Sir, please tell me one thing. How many people who served under you in your command are you in touch with today? And don't lie on social media. No one comes back. Everyone will remember his Sahayak, my driver. The loyalty is limited to that because that guy served you personally. He made you comfortable. But then what about the people who did not serve you directly or who are not your Sahayaks? 99% people are like that. So, to me, leadership was, if I'm a leader, I'm leader for life. I can't be a temporary leader. If I'm a leader, it will be for life. If I given commitment to you that we will stand in life and death together, I will, and I will stand by you. So what if you are not there? Your wife and children will remain as much my responsibility as they are yours. And should you not be there, I will do whatever I can and whatever is within my means. It's 20 years in retirement. I'm true to that word today. I'm in touch with more than 600 of my retired men. 600. Personally, I know each one of them. I know their houses. I know their homes. I visit their homes. I go deep in rural areas alone, earlier with my wife. Thereafter, when she passed away, 6 years, I would do that alone. In 2023, I remarried. Touchwood. Luckily, I married a woman who is as much committed to the cause, and in thick and thin, she is with me. Now she travels with me to each and every men's place. Wherever people say कि अच्छा रात हो गई है हमारे घर में रुक जाओ, we both just stay there. We eat with them. We have food with them, families. We visit the widows. We visit the married people. We visit the groups. We call people together. So from 23 onwards, I have a partner. My wife used to do that earlier with me. Now Sushma does that with me. So that trigger of that girl that I'll get married because I don't have. So that started a thing in my head. How exactly do I now use my position to somehow uplift these people and to be of some use to them? And that's how the first initiative, which I used to call Savita, sustainable and valuable initiative for timely assistance, SAVITA. So it has to be sustainable. The thing has to be sustainable. It has to be valuable. It has to be timely. If these three things are not there, might as well not help anyone. The very standard drill in army is call a ex-serviceman rally, call the widows, and present them with one silaika machine or shawl or something. And I would always joke that there would be certain widows who would be having probably 50 silai machines. This is not the way to help. My definition was totally different. So I said, no, I have to be that time. Today, the state is a guy dies within 7 days. Wherever I am, I will leave everything. I'll go to that woman's house and meet that family. Children, now they know that this man is there. Soon as it happens, the first thing is, Pandey Sahab ko batao, Pandey Sahab jayega udhar. Why? They know this man will guard this woman, he will guard her money, because now the relatives will all come down on her. They'll become vultures, they will start snatching her money. So she needs a protection. So Pandey Sahab goes there. And from 17, then it started. Then I made a list. Then I realized that if there are so many children and the expenditures, I have got almost about 32 heads, of which if I start taking, if each of these women, they start taking, uh, probably everyone spends about 17, 18, 17, 18 of those heads which I've got for the children's education, out of which tuition fee is just one, which army reimburses, government reimburses. So just one. So what about the balance 16? What about the ambition, the aspiration of the child? So thereafter, then I said, no, you will do what you want to do. So far as money is concerned, I said, leave it to me. I said, I'll find out where to. Now, I have been quite active on Twitter. That's been the primary place where I've been active. And till the time Twitter got taken over by Elon Musk, till that time, the followers, the number of followers, would increase in a crazy way with me. I almost have about 16,000 followers, right? And they are quality followers. And after Elon Musk has taken over, probably there are some algorithms that they have put, so it has become more commercial. So it's the growth is very slow. But then I have this core of. So I had a idea one day. I said, "How is it? Why is it that you say Sunil, you say Shrish, why will you not give money for the education of a widow's child? Why will you not give?" So I started writing reasons. Why will Sunil not give and why would Shirish not give? And why would 100 other people not give? So everything boiled down to only one thing: trust. Why will I give you? What is my guarantee that the money reaches the widow? What is my guarantee that the child gets educated? Because there are more than about 2,000 to 3,000 NGOs which are run by retired army officers, IPS, IAS, and all these people who used to take huge amount of money from the industry in the name of widows, this, that, soldiers, and thereafter the money had to be transferred to that NGO's account, and thereafter that NGO would thereafter further give that money to someone else, to the needy. So this is the model. Uh, 10% may be reached, 15% may be reached. There may be an exception where 100% reached. I have never come across even one exception in my life. The most things that I have come across is 10%, 15% reaches. Where does the balance money go? And by the time I was figuring this out as to how to exactly fund them, that's the time my wife passed away. That was in September 2017. And I was actually in very thick of this as to how to get the funding. And that's the time I got called by a senior officer, retired. I'll not give the rank, I'll not give the name, but he was very, very senior in rank. So he said, "You want to do this? Why don't you run my NGO?" He says, "You say yes, you come, and first 50 lakhs will come to the NGO's account. I said, what do I have to do? He says, you got 4 5 widows जिसके बच्चों को पढ़ाना है, उनको पैसा दे देना. So I said, उसके लिए, I said, I hardly require any money. I just require about 3 or 4 odd lakhs. He said, you take your 3 or 4 odd lakhs. I said, but you are saying 50 lakhs. I said, what do I do with 50 lakhs? I said, I don't require. He said, नहीं वो तो NGO में आ रहा है. He said, you don't worry, you are the secretary, the minute sheets will keep on coming to you. You just keep on signing the minute sheets and the checks. Uh, so board. So I said, who is on the board? So there were 8 ladies. I said, who are these ladies? Then I came to know who the ladies were. And then I essentially what I understood that I had to sign for hotels, I had to sign for air tickets, I had to sign for business class, I had to sign for this. This out of that 47 lakhs, and 3 lakhs I could take for the widows. So I said, no, I'll not be doing it. I said, I have taken a vow in my life, I'll not touch even 1 rupee. And then there were threats, and there were some very, very uh, bad conversations. But finally, I said firm no. And that's the day I decided. I said, no, if I have to crush this man's ego once and for all, I have to make this a success. And the nights would go thinking, what exactly do I do? How do I get the fund without touching a rupee? That's the time I hit upon an idea on which Indian Army survives. Today, Indian Army survives only on one thing: Zuban. Like I say, Indian Army is not this planet. It's a different planet altogether. It survives on Zuban. अगर किसी ने किसी को जुबान दे दिया, you take it, the job is done. Simply the job is done. There is nothing called लिख के दो, ये करके दो, वो मैसेज दो, ये करके दो, उसके सामने बताओ, ये प्रूफ. बोल दिया ना. So I said I must have tremendous amount of dignity so far as the widows and children are concerned, and at the same time, I should have. I will exploit this emotion. So I coined a term and I called it Samman or Zuban. So Samman or Zuban initiative I launched, which means that you simply give me your word that when required, I will give X amount of money. I will just keep a track of all the people who have given me that word, that pledge, that Zuban, कि मैं 5,000 रुपए दूंगा इस साल में. Fine. My job is to carry out complete thorough scrutiny. Thereafter, have the account details. Then, whenever required, I will give you the name and account detail, bank detail of that widow. You transfer that amount to her, send screenshot to me. I will take a confirmation from her that she has got screenshot of her bank account and I will share it with you. So, not even 1%, 1 rupee will evaporate or will go away. No loss in transit, 100% reaches there, and I don't touch money. This caught on like crazy when, and one of my CEOs, my first CEO in fact, when I used to discuss this with him, he told me, he says, Sanjay, you will never fall short of money. You will never fall short of money. There is a good human being in everyone. Everyone wants to help. The problem is they don't know where to help because the world cheats. But if you are not going to touch a single rupee, take it from me, you will never fall short of money. First year I required 3,75,000. I had pledges worth 4 lakhs. So we ended up, and this would be a single man thing, I would do it. So I had a big list of children and what they were doing, what were their fees, their receipts would be with me. At the end of the academic year, I would reimburse their entire expenditure, including unka bus ka आना जाना, उनका मोबाइल का बिल का खर्चा, and all these छोटा मोटा books का खर्चा, and उनका sports day जाना है, someone wants to go for adventure activity, someone wants to go for a private course, regardless of what the money was. I restricted this only to my unit, and I called it Mighty 60 Shiksha Seva. So it was Shikshaka Seva. But the overall, it was under Samman or Zuban. And Samman or Zuban used to be working under Savita, which I said it is that sustainable and valuable uh, assistance for timely assistance. So it used to work under that. So this became an absolute brilliant this thing where the whole unit veterans came together, the serving came together, and with full dignity. We never published the names of the widows on the group. They were silently being assisted. And out of that, I think I have seen two MBAs. I have seen, I think, couple of dental things, dental degrees, a couple of PhDs in that, and I think six or seven postgraduates, uh, endless ITIs where the boys would go for ITIs, and certain training for joining army, and not even one child did I leave. So 17 entire we funded, 18 we funded. I think 19 this Samman or Zuban. I would write about it on Twitter also, and that's where this Dainik Jagran, some reporter caught it somewhere, and then they took a complete interview and they published that in the newspaper Dainik Jagran about Samman or Zuban with my photograph and that news article. That actually helped me quite a lot. So personally, I have never been looking for fame and all those things. In fact, in public domain, I have written that no government office oblique officer oblique organization should ever approach me to ask me that since you have done this, government wants to do this. I said the first thing I will do is that you have approached me, I will upload it in the public domain with the advice that please stay away from me. So I said I am not interested in those things. Let me work. But then this article helped me quite a lot. It helped me in such a way that when I put it on Twitter and all these places, so the number of followers that I had, suddenly, to them, a new personality, a new side of my personality came in. And that is the time I launched Saman or Zuban on social media. And now, instead of restricting my unit, which I said my unit will be funded by my unit veterans only. So I started picking up widows as they would be recommended to me by anyone for that matter. And I would take the number of that widow, speak to her, get all her service documents, scrutinize the entire service document, the school, college documents, fee receipts. And once I was very certain that this is an absolutely genuine case, if it is within my beat, I'll go and visit them. If it was not, then I would be continuously with them on phone. In fact, day before yesterday, I got a call from Madurai. There is a girl over there. So now she's stuck up. Uncle, should I do BTech or should I take admission in veterinary? But they are not giving me admission, whatever is going on. So I was advising. And then soon as I broadened the scope of Samman or Zuban to include widows of army, regardless of uh, where their husband served, how did they die? Army is obsessed with battle casualties. Veer Nari. Veer Nari is less than a percent and a half. 98% plus are physical casualty widows. Physical casualty is anything that is not declared as battle casualty. So their pensions are much lower. So someone who dies because of sickness or road accident or this, that, they're all physical casualties. So most of the facilities are for battle casualty children. So these children get nothing. So I said, no. My tagline was widow is not by choice. You don't give a la carte menu to a widow. You take one how your husband should die. If you give them a choice, all of them will say, make him a battle casualty. If he has to die, so better make him a battle casualty. At least me and my children will be well taken care of. But then widow is not by choice. So This is what actually transformed the entire thing. Now, suddenly, I had so many widows, suddenly, I had so many children, and I had no money. So then I started explaining what exactly this pledge system is, Samman or Zuban is, on Twitter. And then there would be one pledge, and there would be second pledge, and there would be third pledge. Uh, Last about 5 years, on an average, I have almost about 10 to 12 lakh per year as pledges. This year, I took on another 14 widows. So today, I have already dispersed about 9 lakh 60,000. I've got another 5 lakh worth of pledges with me. The time pressure of work is so much that I'm not able to actually speak to those widows to find out about the children, their state. But the money is lying, and probably in last about 7 8 years, more than 70 80 lakhs would have been dispersed. I'm yet to touch a rupee in that. And this model actually appeals to a civilian. It appeals to anyone for that matter. That I am with my own hands, my own account, I am sending money directly to the widow. So only question remains is that widow authentic? Probably that's a place where my personality on Twitter or my this thing on it counts quite a lot. That over a period of time, the amount of credibility and that I have built over social media, uh, particularly on Twitter, that I've built in last about 7 8 years, that credibility is of that high order, and with huge amount of recommendations coming in from people who have known me or maybe who have interacted me sometimes on Twitter. So there is always an endless stream of people who are pledging. So when all of this happens, Rahul's expenditure also is going on. So there are times when I think, does he qualify? Then I have to debate with myself. No, he does not qualify. Rahul is your responsibility. You took him on, so you will pay for it. So there is absolute watertight. Not 1 rupee goes from one account to another, which is not authorized. So this would go on, and today I don't know the number of children. We have lost track. Uh, we don't fund anything which is not to a widow. Not 1 rupee goes to anyone else who is not a widow's child, and that to a army widow's child. So we fund them, and sky is the limit so far as what they want to do and where do you want to go. You want to go to a private college, pay 2.5 lakh rupees fees. I will always pay after the session. I don't pay before the session. I will see your result card. I will see everything. I will visit your home. I will see your marks. If required, I'll go to your school. There are times I have visited so many schools and principal and asked them that why are you charging them so much? Why don't you just there's only one soldier's dead soldier's child in your school, so why can't you at least take on? So there are three children whose fees was brought down to zero and a certificate issued by school that regardless of uh, whether this principal is there or not, the management gives assurance that no fee will be charged. So we
Wow.
have got the thing. So fees don't get charged. So to me, that is money saved. Now you to me that is so that gives me chance to take another three children. So this is how we kept on increasing, and today 90% plus donors are from Twitter. They may be in Hong Kong, they may be in California, they may be Germany. I don't know where all. So all I do is I insist that they have to come on WhatsApp with me. I will ask some basic questions, very basic questions. Where are you from? Where are your parents? What do they do? Brothers, sisters, there's that, वगैरह. So when I know generally that I know this guy is a genuine Indian and he wants to help, I don't take any money from organizations. I don't let anyone donate money. I simply say it's a pledge which is one individual to another. So I'm just Naukri.com who's connecting two people, but they take commission. I don't even take that. That's how actually we build. So Samman or Zuban very slowly, right up to 2024-25, it was going on. And then I realized the next level actually came. So we said that right up to post graduation, we will take your child up to post graduation regardless of what the expenditure is, and we are paid for anything and everything. So if a widow is asking for 60,000, I know her expenditure is not less than 85,000. So I'll end up giving her a lakh. So never. So this is the place where Samman and dignity comes. So no, I will never let you feel small. कि नहीं सर थोड़ा और पैसा मिल जाता तो. No, so that will not happen. So there are times when these widows are asking for money which is not for education. Then there are. This is the time when I am in a dilemma. Then I say at the end of the day she doesn't have a husband. Oh, ठीक है अगर if someone is giving 25,000 rupees and this is what the purpose is for which she wants to send her daughter abroad and she does not have visa fees, so why not? So there are places where aberrations are there, but that is only to the widow and the children, so nothing goes out. So that's how actually then we launched Saksham last year. So from Mighty 60 Siksha Seva, we came to Samman or Zuban. From Samman or Zuban, we came to Saksham. Now, Saksham was a step further. So it didn't stop at post graduation. We said we'll take you right up to your first salary.
Mm.
So we'll take you right up to your first salary. You want guidance from the people in industry. You want a special place at a particular place. You want me to approach someone. Whatever. If your father is not there, I'm there for you. So let me see. The day you get your first salary, probably that day, I will stop associating myself with you in a sense of the financial help that we provide. So that we launched last year. Today's state is uh, there are, I think, 13 or 14 widows that whose children we are supporting. 960, like I told you, this year we have already given in February, March, April, 3 months. The next uh, installment generally comes around Diwali time. So I have got couple of months. I've got another, I think, 5 odd lakhs pledges lying with me. So all I have to do is to just hunt for those widows. I have the list. The problems are big. Problems are many. As soon as my phone goes unknown number and someone talks about funding the children, your children's education. So first thing that comes to my mind is a scam. Some scamster is calling. So it's quite a difficult thing. That's a place I involve my wife. Why don't you speak to my wife? Then they speak. Somehow the trust is built. There are stories that come at times, very strange type of stories, where the unit says that this is my widow, that's her husband, died on so and so date, her mobile number is so and so. When you ring up on that number, the person says, my name is so and so, exactly husband's name, and this is my wife. And then you say, but he's supposed to be dead. And after some time, then you realize, after speaking to wife and all, probably on the quiet, they have gone in for a second marriage. As soon as she declares the second marriage, the pension will stop. Where that's the government of India rule. So they don't declare. So then I have not been sent by the government here to investigate. So I generally delete the phone and I say, okay, fine, I'll not come back to your life ever again. Fine, if that's the way you have chosen to live, you have all the right to live. So that's how the things are going on. So this is the journey which started and how it evolved from 2015, where we are today. So many children out of them are married. They also have their children. One of this child only is the one whose Kanyadan we did last year on 8th August. So when we had gone for that marriage. So goes on. So that's the journey.
Wow.
What a journey. Sorry, Sunil, I cut you in. I cut you in. Sorry.
Now, all I had to say was just wow, I think. That
Yeah.
Sorry?
sums it up. All I had to say was wow, and I think that sums it up. Uh, I think so many layers to it. Zuban, Samman, then how it started, to where is it now? Um, and so happy to host this with you. I think that's how the feeling is. And all across your sharing, I think one question was I think maybe even from a listener's point of view, uh, can civilians like us or individuals like us can also contribute to whatever the cause you're doing?
90% civilians are contributing.
Okay.
90% of my funding is coming from civilians.
Oh, yeah.
90%. One of these days, I think we can come on Google Meet where I'll share a document. It's on my laptop only. And when you see that, more than 90% are civilians.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. All you have to do is to just give my number to them. A person just calls me. He says, "Ki, acha, this is where I came to know." All I will do is few questions. Thereafter, I just note it down in my Excel sheet about the details. It's there in my mobile. I write their pledge. I ask them how much amount. Is it going to be one time? Is it going to be year on year? I will, rather than giving me a big amount this year, I will rather prefer give me a small amount but give me year on year, so that each year I know, even before I start, that this is my minimum budget for this year and this is the available fund. So 90% civilians are giving.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. And when I talk so much openly about it, it is actually to thank each and every person who is associated with me, and indirectly with the widow and to the children. Overall, I think everyone is doing a great job, great service to humanity. You don't have to do everything directly, even if you're doing indirectly. Why not? I just happen to be a medium. And probably I always say God picked me up only for one reason, that when He's taken a vow not to touch a rupee. So why the hell to worry? The dough is for. So that's how it goes.
Lovely. So you can add
Wonderful.
me to that list of people who would be interested to make this
Yeah.
happen. I am
In
Right.
very
fact,
well
add
happy to.
both of us to that, sir. And
Absolutely.
we'll be getting in touch with you after the episode.
After
Uh,
just Saksham, one reminder, and I'll immediately send you. I'll add you to the list.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Now, moving ahead, sir, in the last episode, I'd asked you a question of how does a parent of a child instill values in them, and you've given me an answer. And today we've heard about you weaving a human connect. Now, today I want to request you to share that story which exemplifies the values you've instilled in your children and how this human weave, the story that you had told us when your son got married and had come back to India and you wanted to host a party for him, and what was his answer and where that party was hosted and how it was such an amazing story. It hasn't left me. In fact, I've shared that story with so many people कि ये होता है असली शादी का खुशी मनाना और कितना एक फादर को गर्व हुआ होगा not only on his son but the way he's brought up and how his principles have paid off actually. जिस किताब को पकड़ के चले हैं तो उसकी एक्चुअल रिवॉर्ड मिला उनको स्टोरी से. I would like you to share that with our listeners, sir, please.
Absolutely. Why not? Nachiket, my son, was born in 1995, and throughout whatever he has done, he went abroad in 2018, 1 year after my wife had passed away, and he went to Imperial College London. Thereafter, he picked up a job there, and he's working there only. He again met Adya in London itself. She's from Uttarakhand, and then they decided to get married. And this year, 2nd February, they were married in India. So almost about a year back, 2024 Feb, when they finally told us that yes, we are ready for the marriage, you and gave go ahead to both the parents. The biggest dilemma I was facing was only one. I am a Maharashtrian with zero connect with Maharashtra, zero connect. And last 20 years I am in Delhi. Before that, for 25, 26 years I was in army. And before that, 21 years I was with my father in Air Force. So practically I have no place. And practically entire India belongs to me. So either way, you say it's the way you see it. So the fact is that when it came to marriage, so one was the rituals part, which have to take place. So wherever they take place, so that would be shadi and probably kisi ka reception and that couple of days affair. And I'm the boys side. So boys side, Indian traditionally, you're doing nothing in that marriage because that marriage is everything is being arranged by the girl's father. So you're only going there with your select relatives, and thereafter everything gets over. So that marriage was to take place at place A. So what do I do? So a boy's father will come back with the bride and his son and the daughter-in-law, and thereafter he will host a big reception. So being in Delhi, so the big reception would be in could be anywhere in one of those big farmhouses, or it could be in cantonment. And there are places which are where you can host such events, personal ones, because of clubs and all you're a member of. And then you end up making a list of people, and 99% would be the officers' friends because I'm an officer. So probably people I have never met, or because I wanted more people at the reception. So anyone who does not even deserve to be within 100 kilometers of my house, probably I'll end up inviting him also, uh, him and his wife, because I want crowd. So overall, the gist of the entire thing is that it's a fraud. I take it as an absolute fraud that you are hosting a reception because you are supposed to be hosting one. You are calling people because there are supposed to be people there. If you have given catering for 200 people and if 150 only come, so you'll be giving 50 so it's commerce at the end of the day. Or if it is not commerce, it is then for people who have done favors to you in life. So you want to pay back everyone. So you end up calling every senior कि अच्छा इसने मेरा posting manage किया, इसने मेरा ये whatever. I'm very cynical when it comes to these things. So I said, no, I don't want any of this bullshit. There is no one I have. I've only got good friends. And there are very close friends I have made in the officer cadre. So why don't I do one thing? So wherever the marriage is taking place, and since I've got zero connect with my state, my place, back Maharashtra, I don't have any relatives. I said, why don't I call all of them as my relatives and take them for marriage? So 20 years after retirement, I'm I have more than about 30 odd friends who will probably give their right arm today to me. So all of them were there for the marriage as my relatives with their wives. Whoever could manage came with children. So they all were there. So marriage took place and all my friends were taken care of because they were my relatives because that's actually the relation with them. So otherwise, who comes 20 years after retirement? No one even answers your telephone call. So here they are, they visited on their own. Now the question came, where do I have a reception? And then I had a talk with my son. I said, I'm dead against having it in Delhi and just spending lakhs and lakhs just because socially I am supposed to be holding a reception. And I end up calling 100, 200 people, like I said, who otherwise I would not let them settle within 100 kilometers radius of my home. But then I must get them. So then I spoke to my son. I said, yeah, I have an idea. But I said, but if you say no, I said, I can't proceed. What? I said, we have spent our entire life in unit, coming and going at times, posted out, again come back, posted out, again come back to same unit. I said, yeah, I was born in that unit in 82. This is 2025, 43 years. I said, such a long period. I said, why don't we call all retired people, their families, their grandchildren, their relatives, and I said, host a reception in a central place, which happens to be Kangra in Himachal. So he says, Papa, my entire life is gone in unit. There are so many people who have raised me there. I remember so many. There'll be nothing like it, but can you manage? I said, I don't know whether I can manage or not, but there is only one thing I know. There is no precedence to this in Indian Army. I said, since 1947, if you take till date, I said, there is not even one incident where an officer has hosted a reception for his unit in the area where his unit people come from, and it's a personal function. I said, it has not been held. He says, will anyone come? I said, I don't know. I said, it's a test of me as an individual. So if I have not been a good leader, I said, people will not come. I said, if I have been of some value to someone, I said, people will definitely come. So he was sitting there. He says, okay, I'm absolutely fine. And when he spoke this with his fiancée, so she says, no, absolutely fine. Can my father come? So I said, nothing like it. I said, why not your entire family? So she said, fine, father, mother, brother, mama, and there are 6, 7 people who want to come. I said, absolutely fine. Then from my side, my whole family, my daughter, husband, and the whole family was there. So then we took a decision one day. I said, after marriage, marriage is the girl's father, and they are doing it. We are sharing expenditure wherever we have to, or which is a traditional thing. But so far as our reception is concerned, I said, I have got 1 year, and we will hold it for our men only. And officers also. We'll invite officers also. Everyone will invite. But then basically it is for men, and it will be held in a central place. Our catchment area of our unit is entire Himachal, North Punjab, and South J&K, Jammu region, RS Pura, all that. So Kangra is a central place. So I found that out, uh, finalized the hotel, and from last June 24, yeah, 25 was the marriage. Yeah, June 24, me and my wife, we started traveling to Himachal. And we would take a big route. We would go house to house. We would carry invitations. And like any traditional invitation that you would give to a family to attend reception of your son, with folded hands, we would visit their homes. If the elders are there, we would touch their feet when we found their parents, otherwise the men, their wife, their children. So I think probably me and my wife, we personally went to 170 homes, from Jalandhar right up to Jammu and entire Himachal, going deep down in rural areas, very small villages, to their homes. And I think we both made almost about 6 to 7 trips from Delhi. And each trip would be about 2 to 3 days. It would cover anything between 1600 to 2200 kilometers, and it would be about 3 nights out, but generally about 2 nights out. So this is how we would travel and go door to door, home to home, gather people, request people, and send the invitations by speed post. So one kept on insisting me. There was an assistant of mine. Post कर देते हैं इतना खर्चा क्यों करना है ऐसे नहीं है ऐसे this has to reach them. So endless number of speed post letters and continuously telling them, and then thereafter tying up with that hotel and booking hotels for the family of my daughter-in-law, her parents, this that. So everything was being done, and throughout this, you can now imagine, I had palpitation throughout this period. Will people come? This has never happened. No one has ever had a reception for a child's marriage, an officer, where he has only held reception for the men and their families and this, and they are traveling. So this is how we planned it for 9th of February 2025. 2nd of February, the marriage was there, and thereafter 1 week. So we went there on 7th of February. I was in Kangra, in that hotel, and our hard work of almost about 8, 9 months of extensive traveling, maybe 8 to 10,000 kilometers, 170 homes, contacting more than 500 people on speed post letters, going to them, continuous phone calling. And then came 9th of February, we all were there in the morning itself to receive people. And initially, that palpitation, I said, let me see whether my 42 years of association is heavier, or was it all my make believe world that I was very liked by people and no one turns up. And 9th February evening, when I sat down and thought over it, this was the biggest gathering of veterans one can ever imagine having taken place in a private function across Indian Army from 1947 to till date. I had 169 people, veterans, who attended. There were families, there were children, there were their relatives, their daughter-in-laws. The overall strength crossed 560. And to me, probably there could not have been a bigger payback by the men for whatever I have meant to them for all these years. And the high point of this entire thing was Nachiket is a officer's son, and the people attending are all JCOs and men, right? So when people started arriving and they were made to sit on the stage, I suddenly noticed he had asked me earlier, when they come to me, what should I do? I said, they are coming to you in what capacity? I said, are they coming to you in the capacity of men or this? Or are they coming to you in capacity of a elder guest of the family? I said, anyone elder, what you will do? He said, I'll touch their feet. Probably my son and Adya ended up touching feet of more than 450 people that day. And anyone who would come on stage, they would both touch the feet of the people. And the men were so overwhelmed and they were in absolute shock that how is it that this family is so humble that the son is touching everyone's feet, and these people are personally taking care of everyone. And to me, probably that was the culmination, the final chapter of my entire service career, which was written on 9th of February. Probably anything that I wanted to achieve from 1981 when I went to OTA, not knowing what does becoming a good officer mean. And that small book of leadership, I said I'll follow it. Probably that finally paid off on 9th of February 2000.
Wow. So I think so many layers to it. Even before we started, I said I, as an individual, as a civilian, may not have any exposure to what happens inside a cantonment or inside a space of an army, and possibly sometimes maybe not so, but vice versa as well. That this happens, and you make it. You share it in such a way that it becomes so much a part of us. It becomes so human thing. And these are stories you've never heard of, and so much of detailing, so much of remembrance, and it simply is beautiful to just sit here and then listen to so many things that you're sharing. I'm short of questions right now in terms of saying, hey,
A
what is the
small
right
thing,
question to ask?
uh, small thing to add. So since it was a reception, so we also started thinking about what should we give to the men. So the answer is so many people. So we can't afford to chhod do. So I said, nahi. So Himachal traditions I found out. So when a guest is going, so they are given a box of uh, not mithai, it is eats. It is basically that old tradition. If for the journey back to your home, you should have something. So we got almost over 250 boxes prepared there. I said, we'll give it to each guest. I said, but no, this is not sufficient. This anyone would do. But if there are marriage, so we give good gifts. So then I started hunting down. I said, I must give them something which I know will remain on in their front room or in their temple throughout the life. And then after hunting down and so many of ideas, I found out a manufacturer in Pune who I asked to make a emboss a Durga Mata. Durga Mata is our deity so far as unit is concerned. For us, everything is Durga Mata. So Durga Mata's this thing we got embossed on pure silver plate and mounted that on a frame, put that in a box, and we made more than 250 of that. And a pure silver thing I gave to every man, family which came and attended that. So I said, this is the best payback I can give to my men, honoring them at the reception, looking after them at the reception, while going, take care of the sweet box or the box of eatables, a small gift, and all we carried back is memories. I think these should be more than sufficient for me to last another 25, 30 years if I'm around.
Oh. So, as I was listening to this, Sunil, the first thing that came in my mind was that what is happening these days, that even the closest of your relatives and friends send you a WhatsApp message, Shadi hai, aa jana, and probably get a call. And here, sir, he is visiting their houses of his men, whom he has taken as his family. This is the real human weave, actually, which he's created. And amazing, the part, like when I started this, when I requested him to share this story, was what I liked the best was the high point. He says that sun touching the feet of all the elders, making them feel part of the family, making them, honoring them. This is amazing, sir. This is the bridge I wanted to connect of how to bring up your children and instill values, and how it fructifies ultimately when that point comes. Wonderful, sir. Amazing. Really. I'm
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
speechless. I'm speechless. Honestly, I think this is one of those episodes when we don't have anything to really say.
No, you can make it interesting by asking us the questions. Hopefully, we will be having interesting stories to share.
Oh, I've tried to. There is nothing different I have done in life. I always say this with pride. No, I have not done anything different. I've just done what army wanted me to do. I never learned any of these things in college. You taught me. Problem is 99.9% people lost their way. I did not.
Hmm.
That's the only difference. Everyone had that book. Everyone had that book. So army didn't say don't follow the book. That gave us that book to follow. So rest everyone lost their way somewhere. I probably stuck to that one. So today when I sit here and talk to you, and when I tell you with pride that yeah, I didn't do anything different. They wanted us to do that. I just did that. Nothing else. But then this path is not easy. This path is not easy. But then now today, when I'm at 65 years of age, so the typical Punjabi thing, Sanu ki te sata ki. So nothing can go wrong now in my life. So jo hona tha ho gaya. So live life the way you want to. So and the only way I know how to live life is that book. There's nothing else I could learn or I permitted myself to learn other than what that book is. So I did nothing different. It is just I stuck to that. That's the only difference.
So
While
that's a
others lost their way.
significant difference. So
Sorry?
that's a significant difference. I think in terms of so many of us having the data available and like books available, people telling us what to do, what not to do, sticking to it for 40 plus years is something that's not easy, like you said. And currently, a lot of these things have become to a point where if it's easy, let me do it. and let me not do something that's the more difficult aspect of it, even in terms of, like visiting people, talking to each other and all that. So you said it was the army gave you that book, you stuck to it and you didn't lose your way. But were there times when you were tempted to say, this is just one of those times, chalta hai?
No, not once in my life. Not once. And when I say this with confidence because I know that when I'm speaking this video is going to be there in public domain. That if there is something, someplace I have done something, there is one guy always who will come up and say that you are a liar. No, not once. Not once in 43 years, 44 years. Not once. And that's a confidence I have. Whether it is lying or whether it is integrity or whether it is honesty, anything for that matter, whether it is in army or whether it is in civil post retirement. No,
Wow.
absolutely no.
So one thing I wanted to ask you,
Sir,
from where does this so much of empathy, compassion, humanity come inside you? कहाँ से आता है ये? लास्ट टाइम मैंने पूछा था ये चैलेंज कहाँ से आता है आप में, इतना ये सब करने का मोटिवेशन कहाँ से आता है? आज मैं पूछ रहा हूँ कि ये कंपैशन कहाँ से आ रहा है? व्हाट्स द सोर्स ऑफ दैट? व्हाट ड्राइव्स यू? व्हाट मेक्स यू सो कंपैशनेट?
I have absolutely no idea how it comes, but from when it started, I can actually go back to that point to think when it started. So it started from OTA itself. From OTA, see, when your mind is not corrupted, when you come in this service, when you join a place with a corrupted mind, preconceived ideas, you already have made up your mind how do you want your career to be. So when you are coming with an absolute blank slate, you absolutely don't know. And secondly, I think, yes, now I can put my finger at a place. If you remember in episode 1, I used to talk about my father being an airman. My father was exactly that, right? He was in Air Force, he was an airman. Here they were Jawans. So probably I knew how every Jawan's life is. Probably I knew that because that is what I had lived in Air Force. So I didn't have to ask them what their problems were. Probably I knew.
Mm.
I already knew what their problems were. But then that's not how I started when I was 21 years when I got commissioned. When I got commissioned and stepped in my unit, it was with the one only I have to become an officer. And this is how you become an officer. This is how they have taught you. So when I started then I realized becoming an officer. Then I realized that without men you are nothing. And to understand men, all you have to do is to just talk to them in their language they understand. It was so easy for me. It was so easy for me to communicate with them. And when I would go for operations and when I would go in combat or when I would be in absolute warlike situation, probably my unit hasn't seen a more tougher commander than me or a tougher leader than me. There is absolutely no empathy, no nothing out there. It's just nation and war and lives. So you do that. And the best part is the response I got from the men was so amazing response. Then I could realize that these people relate themselves to me because I actually take care of them. And they can differentiate that when is this guy an army officer who is doing his job and when is this guy that person, that human, when he's with us. So probably very slowly it started that way. And it kept on growing. It kept on growing more because when I saw how exactly uh, the people were being treated post retirement, absolutely no one is interested. Whether they live or die, whether they get 9,000 rupees pension and can't afford, and officers will brush off, are here government pays, so why unnecessarily waste time? So that that this man doesn't even know anything about the story of the children of how they are getting educated. So probably this kept on growing, and maybe a very very big hand. I think a very big hand was of my wife, who kept on supporting me throughout, and had absolute brilliant relations with men and their families. So she would be looked up like a goddess by them. And on one hand, it was she was the soft part of me, and on the other hand, they had seen me one of the toughest guys when it came military leader in the unit, but who also was quite compassionate. So probably this mix made me much more human. That my wife made me much more human, probably than I would have become. Probably. So two direct attributes. One goes to my childhood. One goes to my wife. And yes, there was some place. And the third probably is that leader which I wanted to become, and I didn't know what do I have to do. So probably this was a fantastic mix.
It
That's
indeed
me.
is. It indeed is.
And another question, sir, from my end is this space of saying, uh, how do you know about somebody's potential, about them being genuine, authentic, not necessarily leadership material, but then I know what I'm seeing in a person. What's been your experience about that? Because you met quite a lot of people throughout your tenure and even before that, and continue to meet it even after retirement. So how do you not judge people, but how do you read people?
No, I judge people.
Okay.
Simple as that. No, I judge people. I don't. I'll be absolutely blunt. I'll be blunt. I judge people. And I judge people by watersheds. Judging people by watershed means that when someone is interacting with me, right from first day till last day, he will never come to know that I am judging him.
Hmm.
He will never come to know I'm judging. I behave absolute normal with everyone. You can't make out. You will say, no, this guy is same with everyone. No, I judge people. And I judge people by watersheds. Watersheds means there are situations that will come between you and that person, one to one, where that person has to make a decision. And that decision is the watershed. What is watershed? It's that point in a terrain where once the water hits, it splits into two, never to meet again.
Hmm.
So when I judge people, I put them on watershed points without them realizing. Without them realizing. And one incident, two incident, three incident, four incident, if I see consistently that man has been behaving in a particular way when it comes to watershed, I straight away pass him or fail him for life. And if I failed him, rest assured that man has remained a failure throughout his life, because it is that watershed that gets tested. So judging people, people are very shy to use this term to say no, no, I don't judge people. No, I don't read people. I judge people. I judge them and I put them at watersheds. I will give you two fingers. Choose one. You choose this every time you do a negative thing. Every time you do a negative thing, boss, you're gone.
Hmm.
You're
That's a
gone. You're
very
done.
interesting way of looking at it. Yeah.
And it takes years. It takes years. It doesn't happen in 5 months. 5 months, four watersheds. No, it takes years. A particular case, I'll give you example.
Hmm.
Someone I came to know in 2002 for the first time in life. I'll not even talk about whether he's Army, Navy, Air Force, civilian. Someone I came to know, a youngster, right? I knew, I always had a doubt that he will never pass my test of being a gentleman, of being a man with character. And when I say man with character, those four foundational pillars, we'll speak about it. So I always used to have doubt. Couple of times I put him on watershed points and he confirmed that he is not the material. But then we carried on in life. Fine. socially interact, this, that, everything was happening. Then there was this one day when German bakery blast took place in Pune.
Hmm.
You remember?
I remember, sir. I remember that.
2008, I
I
think.
don't remember the year, but I remember the incident. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So there was this blast in German bakery, Pune, a terrorist blast. Now, one of the guys who is injured there happened to be son of my colleague. I think he was about 22, 23 years old. This man was in the same city and at the other end of the city. So this man's father, drastically in panic, he rang me up. Sanjay, do anything. This is what has happened. And my son was there in that bakery and he is injured. I don't know anything. Can you do something? So the first thing I did was I asked my elder brother. I told him, I said, this is what has happened. And he's a banker. My elder brother, he's a banker. He was in Pune at that time. And I think in 5 minutes, my brother and his wife had already gone to the camp. From there, they found out where the injured have been taken. So they came to know they had been evacuated in 3 hospitals. So he did the hospital hopping. Finally, found out. Finally, I made that boy talk to his father. All this happened in less than an hour after I had told my brother. Right? Now, this guy was on the other end of the city. I said, this man has been my right hand for all these years. I gave him a ring. I said, boss, this is what has happened. I said, forget about my retirement. I said, I want you to pick up your car, immediately go there and tend to this boy. Right? He said, sir, I will not be able to go because I am not feeling well.
Hmm.
I said, absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. I said, I just thought that you are there. So probably you might be able to help me. No, sir, I wish I could have helped you. I said, fine, absolutely. That's the last conversation I have had with that man in my life. That's a watershed I put him at. So here is a guy whose son is not critical, he is badly injured. There is a terrorist blast. I am in the city. And today I am off day. And sir has just called, can you just go there and tend to that guy? And the guy says, no, I can't go. I said, fine, absolutely fine, absolutely fine. I said, which is fine? I said, no, my brother is already there. I think he's going to be reaching there. I just thought that I'll tell you. No, sir, fine. Last conversation with that officer. So I judge people. I put them out on watersheds. So now tell me, can humanity fall any more down? Will you go if I just give you a call, boss, this is what has happened in Bangalore, can you just go there? A random person across the globe will go, right? The guy didn't. So when you say how do you, this is how I people I come across, I judge them and I test them on watersheds. 1, 2, 3, 4 failures, I know I will never ever give him a task and be dependent on him. No. If I have to be dependent, I will pick up these people. And I don't have to tell that guy that you are a useless guy, I don't trust you. Fine. But that's how your brain has to work. That I must carry 500 people with me. But within those 500, I know these 100 are unreliable. So that's it. So
And does not happen once. It happens over a period of time,
that's what I say. Absolutely. It happens over a period of time. So you don't have to, just because someone has done, you don't have to get angry and thereafter bullshit the guy. They said, no, just let the life carry on. The thing is that don't forget.
And I think that's also the last part of the answer is also how what was the intention of that? Because you're taking such a large group of people to, active zones. and you need to know who will deliver when when shit hits the fan. Who will stay.
absolutely. No. So you can't always say कि guessing game अच्छा इसको दे देता हूँ, let me see ये करता है कि no. I have always worked in absolutely zero error syndrome. And when you say zero error, this means you have to have 100% trust on the people to whom you delegate things. And if you don't know who to delegate, then boss, I think you need to hit the fan.
Oh, damn, I think that's really true. Tested at Watershed moment. I, I, to put that into perspective, I think we all do that over a period of this thing, and very categorically, you said you would judge and do it and test them at Watershed.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm not here to read people. If I'm leading, if I have got subordinates, if I've got a team, if I've got 100 people, whether I'm in corporate, whether I'm anywhere for that matter, that at the end of the day, life is all about hierarchy. Is it not? So we may say it's a flat, it's a family. Bullshit, it's not a family. Within family, there is a hierarchy. So if life is all about hierarchy, and if you are going to be tested sometimes and you have to perform sometimes, then you have to actually take a call. How exactly will you complete a particular task? At that time, you can't say कि अच्छा ठीक है मैं इसको दे के देखता हूँ ये करता है क्या. No, zero error syndrome means you should be very clear in your mind. If I've got 1,000 men, I have to know who are the 200 people I will not trust. It doesn't mean that I will not take them to war. Probably I'll not make them in charge of something. Probably I'll put them under someone, which is fine. And I'll never let them know that boss, I don't trust you at all. Why
Mm.
should I tell? For all you know,
Right.
he may be trustworthy. And he has failed 4 times in Watershed with me, which is fine. But at the end of the day, it is my call. It is my neck, my head. So let me judge people. I'm not here to read people. I'm here to judge people if they are going to be working with me, around me. It's very simple. And there is absolutely nothing to feel ashamed of. When people say, no, 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 I'm not judging you. No, I'm bloody well judging you, period. It's very simple. And you got to very well know that I'm judging you. So show me your character. And when you come to Watershed, boss, life comes to an end for a person soon as you put him on Watershed. He
Absolutely
will
true.
do what suits him best. He will not do what suits the organization best. So आपने आपका टेस्ट हो गया.
Now, another hint around leadership, I think, Shirish. Even though we didn't really say we'll talk about leadership today, this is that space for me to say, yeah, I think that makes so much sense, and then with so much pressure and responsibility that comes with being, leader and taking decisions, you need to know
Absolutely right.
that this is how it happens.
So you are under gully tone, right? It's your neck. So ठीक है, at least. So let us give ourselves that liberty to judge people. Why not?
Yes, I think that's another takeaway for me from this call. I think there have been many. And then also I think it ties to that space of being that space of Zuban. Once I've given you my word, I know I will deliver it
Absolutely,
to my
period.
highest tilt. Yeah.
And my men know from last 43 years. पांडे साहब ने बोल दिया, सवाल मतलब पैदा नहीं होता, दुनिया इधर की उधर हो जाए कि ये आदमी अपनी जुबान से हिलेगा तो. So to create that sort of trust, it is not by talk, it is by probably they have put me under Watershed. It's not only it's Watershed is not a one-way street. It's a two-way street.
Absolutely. And then also on your son's marriage invitation, reception invitation, for you also it was a watershed moment saying for them to come to there. It's like,
Absolutely.
do they trust you?
Even that morning, I told my son, I said, 44 years of my work, of my dedication is on test today. I don't know whether I will be successful or I'll be humiliated in front of my in-laws and your in-laws. We have invited everyone, not knowing who is going to turn up for the party. And yeah, it
But,
success.
but if you see it from the other point of view, Sunil and sir, it was a watershed test for you, sir,
Absolutely.
because when you went to their houses to invite them, you passed the test. Had you not done that, you would have failed the test in the eyes of your men. So there you would have been judged. ये बोलता था बात बहुत बड़ी बड़ी, जब टाइम आया तो he didn't show that we are part of you. So I think you got tested there. You
Yeah,
put yourself on the test. I would say that
Yourself on the test, correct.
yourself on the
two-way
test.
street. It's a two-way street.
It's a
Yes.
two-way street. Yes, sir. So with this, sir, I think we come to the end of the episode number 2, and we've set the tone for episode number 3, which is going to be the leadership part of it. Last
Can
time
I
the
just
tone was,
interrupt for 1 second?
oh yes, sir, please go ahead.
So there was this. Sorry, I keep on talking about incidents. You may have to slightly edit it, and your last concluding remarks, let them come after the small story. It was 1984 when Blue Star happened. So we were deployed in some place, and I had 24 detachments spread all over. And those were the days when the salaries used to be given in cash. So it was a salary day, and I had cash, I think 30, 40,000, and I had a long list of people, post wise. So I had made slips on which I wrote down so many, itna paisa. Go to each post, give to each man, and whoever is not there, senior most to give that slip and give the cash. And I was going from, and I was a second lieutenant. I was a lieutenant. I had 2 stars. We are hopping from one post to another, and whole day I was just distributing salary and going crazy, traveling, going crazy. And at the last post, 1,700 rupees fell short, right? And I went crazy calculating. I said, no, I cannot go wrong. I cannot go wrong. And the cash was correct. Everything is there's some place I have overpaid. I went back. My salary was 1,502 rupees. So my salary came. I took out that entire salary and gave it to that guy. जिसको 1,700
13 years
देना था,
later.
200 other cash I had. I gave him his money. I just requested him. I said, यार थोड़े दिन के लिए रुक जा, मेरा भी कल सैलरी आ रहा है, मैं पैसा दे देता हूँ. उसको दे दिया मैंने. So I went without a salary for 1 month, right? But like I said, I judge. Probably this habit is since then. I said, no, I will not leave. I had that list.
Wow.
I kept on reading the names of the people, I shortlisted 3. I said, these 3 are the ones who, situationally, character wise, knowing the people, I said, these are the 3 who would have taken. And lied that no, we don't have. 2001, I got posted back to my unit when my unit was in Allahabad. Right? One day I find that man going on pension. And by that time, I had shortlisted that guy. So 17 years we were serving together, everything, but that thing never left my mind. His final interview, everything done, he was going. I said, इधर आ. मैंने कहा यार कल को तूने मर जाना है, कल को मैंने मर जाना. मैंने कहा मेरी चिता जब जलेगी ना यार, झूठ के साथ मैं मरना नहीं चाहता. मैंने कहा तू ही था ना वो 1700 वाला. बोलता हाँ सर. He says हाँ sir. I said ja. And he was that guy who in 1984 I had said it is this man who has taken the money and lied. In Watershed, other 2 had cleared. Only one was left. in 2001. Now you can see how many years, 17 years later,
17 years, 17 years.
so I'm going on pension. I just asked him, I said, यार चिता पे ना एक शक के साथ मरना नहीं चाहता मैं। ये एक शक, एक सवाल का जवाब नहीं मिला। क्या हुआ सर? कौन सा सवाल? मैंने कहा तू ही था ना 1700 वाला? बोलता हाँ।
Wonderful. I'm glad you interrupted me, stopped me, and shared the story with us, sir. So, as we come to this conclusion of this episode, I think it set the tone for the next episode, which we are going to talk about the leadership, how to be a good leader, about the leadership skills, and we are going to get real life experiences from sir. Thank you once again, sir, for your time, for the stories, enriching stories, which will remain with us
I
till
actually should be
end of the time.
thanking all of you for only one thing, to have given me this platform. You let me talk whatever I want to, and I always have promised you that I love sharing my life. I love talking, and the hidden aim being, if there is something out of it that affects someone, and if I end up making even one good human being, one, that is all I want. I think my life is worth it.
So I think you are
And
making two of them right here. So I don't know. You are affecting us so much. Let's start.
yeah.
Right,
No,
sir?
I'm
And
loving it. I'm loving it.
oh, yeah, we are too loving it, sir. And we look forward to the episode number 3. Me and Sunil both. We'd love to host you once again, sir. And get
Thank you, sir.
right, sir.
Thank
Okay,
you very
sir.
much. Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, sir. Jai Hind, sir.